and welcome to Turntable Talk. Beyond the Deck. I am your host, DJ California, and today we have a special guest on. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. DJ Chris Starks.
Hey.
We're gonna talk a little with Chris today. He is from where I'm at here in Western New York, but recently he made the switch to moving to Florida, which a lot of New Yorkers tend to do these days. New York has its slew of problems and issues, and a lot of people just want to get the heck out of this state for sunnier and warmer environment. So Chris has moved to Florida. We're going to talk a little bit about his experience, how he became a DJ, what he loves about being a DJ, what he hates about the industry, the types of events that he does, and just get an insight from him. And then obviously talk a little bit about the switch going from New York to Florida, what the scene is like down there, and what he would like to see when it comes to the future of being a DJ. So let's turn it over to you, Chris. Thank you for joining us. And let's first talk about you. How did you begin as a DJ?
Oh man. Well, I used to go skating back in the day, and the DJ seemed to be like the coolest guy. I mean, he seemed to have an unlimited amount of cool. I mean, DJs at Olympic, at United Skates, and even Horizon. I mean, they knew how to get the crowd engaged and make people have fun. And coming from such a hard environment, which I came from like the most impoverished sides of town in Rochester on the east side. Yeah, people don't tell you that, you can have good things, or, it's just like a dog eat dog world, So to go to skating and see a DJ just engage the crowd and people have such a good time. I said, you got to be a certain type of personality to be a DJ, especially a good DJ. Yeah. You have to, So that really, I thought DJs were a different breed of people. I mean, I'm like, I want to be that guy. They're so positive. So yeah, that's what really got me into wanting to DJ.
Yeah, it was kind of back in the day, when it wasn't as easy to become a DJ. Right. We were looked at as almost sort of like superstars. We were the super people. Right. Because we were doing things that it was not that easy to do. From sourcing old school equipment and making it all work together, and then going out and digging through crates, the old school vinyl DJs. And right. You had to put a lot of work into it to actually be a DJ, and the ones who put in the work and really made something of themselves as a DJ really stood out and really kind of helped shape the scene to what it is today. Right.
I remember seeing like the first person I ever saw like really, really get busy that really made me want to be a turntablist was his name is Ray Sharp Padilla. And he was taught by a guy named Killer B, who was a legendary DJ from Rochester that taught a lot of people. He's a pioneer of DJing in Rochester, well respected. Just had a 50th birthday party. Happy belated birthday to him. But he actually taught a lot of people in Rochester. And I just found out that Killer B taught Razor Sharp, but I saw him get on these milk crates, and he was above everybody else, and he got on these turntables and he proceeded to be the most energetic. I couldn't believe he was doing this in real life, the scratching and the mixing. And I'm like, wow, and soon after that, I ran into Johnny Mambo, and I mean, we were really young, and Johnny Mambo had already, he had been DJing most of his life since he was a kid, and he had 1200s. And he used to tell me, listen, man, if you're going to buy something, just buy what you want to buy, the best, so that you don't have to, have any hiccups. Right. And I didn't listen. Instead of getting the 1200s, I got the Gemini 1800s with the realistic mixer. and I wasn't happy because it wasn't doing what his was doing.
Yeah, you got to love those belt-driven, turntables from back in the day that it would take forever for them to spin up.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy the difference, even though they looked alike. 1200s are the best that you can train on. I mean, especially back then, we didn't have Serato, so we had to find the grooves. You had to worry about if people were jumping around too much and the record skipping. You had to worry about those kind of things. You had to be really good to be fast putting it at the start of each song. DJing was, I guarantee you, if DJing was the same, we wouldn't have so many DJs right now. Carrying crates and doing actual DJing where you can't put on what is that? I don't use it, but other people do use it, but they use it well. Some people use it well and some people don't use it so good. Sync. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against technology, whatever. I love the way, good music sounds, but we didn't have sync back then. You had to use your ears. We didn't have the visual to see if things were lining up.
Right.
So it was definitely tougher and more appreciated art back then.
Yeah, for sure. And just, getting access to music, back then, DJs would spend so much time, not just, building up their library, but trying to find like that needle in the haystack, that real unique, that real special song that you really couldn't find anywhere else. And, people looked up to DJs back in the day as, sort of like the band director, the ones who basically forced people into new types of music and got them to really be interested in certain artists or certain genres or, any type of songs that come out. Because DJs would spend time digging and finding that like golden nugget, that diamond in the rough. Right. And now with everything being digital, you just, log on to pretty much any MP3 pool and download till your heart's content. And then, there's no magic behind it, trying to find that special song. And that's one of the big things that's really changed over the years.
So from what I've seen, that age of being able to download your own music is going away as well. More people are turning to streaming platforms, and it seems like owning music is going to become a thing of the past very soon. Already, it's hard to find Prince songs, Michael Jackson songs. You can't find those in record pools. You might be able to find remixes. But to have the discography of these artists, those days are gone. Music is becoming more valuable. Owning your own music is becoming more valuable and more valuable as the days go by.
Yeah, so for sure. In streaming, I know it is the way of the future, and a lot of people are using it now in a lot of different creative ways. But until internet service gets way better, it's something that I don't think any of these should really rely on. I think they should still spend the time building their library and having a good amount of music, because, what happens if you go to that venue or go to that bar or, club or whatever, and there is no internet, you're pretty much screwed. So, until the day comes when technology is pretty much, perfect, then, streaming, you're going to have to kind of just take it with what it's worth, and work with what you got.
There's definitely a problem as far as me, an old school DJ, relying on any type of streaming service. I love having my own library. I've worked on my library so much that people ask for songs and I can't believe I have them. You know what I'm saying? And that just comes from researching playlists, downloading those songs, finding out which ones do you want, what are you going to keep, what are you going to use, I think old school DJs like ourselves, we tend to hoard music because we just get so much music. I have too much music, you know.
Right.
But I think it's a miracle that I'm able to go to a lot of these gigs and sift through this just to do a gig, because it's just way too much music. I know right now they do have services that allow you to streamline your music to more of a reasonable gigs, because the terabytes that I bring are just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel comfortable knowing that me as an open format DJ, I'm able to go here, and there. you know, without restriction. I love open format DJing.
Yeah, and that's good. And you cater to a much wider demographic, a much wider crowd too. So, you know, it's one thing whenever you're playing a certain genre to a certain type of crowd, whether it's EDM or hip hop or reggae or, you know, whatever. But when you can rock a crowd that is multi demographic, where you've got, you know, certain people there that love EDM, people that love pop, love the, you know, top 40, love hip hop, love Spanish music, and you do that well and just bring everybody together. You have that thing that really ignites the passion in people who love music, because you are catering to all the different demographics, all different walks of life, all different age groups. And there's something that, you know, really should be said about DJs who are able to do that and bring everybody together, no matter what their preference is, to really enjoy things and be on that dance floor.
That's crazy that you say that, Josh. I totally agree with you on that. I think just like ignorance and segregation and the way that people look at things is the reason why a lot of people don't get the recognition that they get. If you don't cater to a certain crowd, or they can't put you in a category, you seem to be like just on the outside. You know, it's like I don't know. In Rochester, just experienced a lot of gatekeeping, and there's a lot of segregation in the music. I experienced a lot of racism on all sides, on all of it. Yeah. But, you know, music has a way of bringing everybody together.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You can do it. You can actually do it and have everybody vibing. You're just having a great time. They might not like every song you play, you know what I'm saying? But it's the vibe that keeps people interested, keeps people, you know, they might not like this song, but they like this song, you know? And just good music is timeless and universal.
Absolutely.
And it's able to bring people together. That's another thing that drew me to DJing, to see all of the racism and the segregation, but then you can have a crowd of people from all walks of life, no matter if they're rich or poor, having a great time, you know, just even if it's just for a couple hours, which was the main reason why Lovejoy Mobile Sound was created.
Right, which is your private event business, doing all different types of events, from birthdays to corporate to schools to obviously weddings, and which is great, you know, because I think that's sort of like the natural progression for us old guys when we started out in the bars and the clubs and all that. So not only has the equipment and the music evolved, but we as DJ has evolved. We've gone from those little hole in the wall places where we're only getting a few bucks and maybe a bar tab back in the 90s, and, you know, so on, to the point where we're doing bigger and better events, from, you know, obviously weddings and corporates and all that stuff, where the paychecks are much, much bigger, but you are expanding your knowledge and your skill set as a DJ by catering to a wide, diverse type of crowd.
Yes. And the awesome thing about that is that it's all been word of mouth. Like, I haven't put any money into advertising besides getting cards and, you know, a few things to promote myself. But it's been word of mouth, because when Lovejoy Mobile Sound does an event, we become family, especially if it's a wedding. We become like family with these people, and they don't want to hire anybody else but me. Like, it, you know, and I love it. I love it because they make you feel like family. Like, if you have good clients, you are going to feel like $1 million, because you know you're going to do your job.
Yeah.
And they just make you feel like $1 million. You eat sometimes even before the bride and the groom. Sometimes, who even knows? They just make sure that you're good. And I've met so many wonderful people like yourself. You're so knowledgeable. If I have an issue, I ask you with the full confidence and knowing that you will have the answer because of your experience and all the accolades that you have. So I really appreciate you. I want to mention that as well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You know, and that you bring up a good point. You know, when it comes to private events, no matter what it is, there's guys out there that just look at it as a number. You know, they go in, they set up, they play, and they leave. You know, they don't look anything more past that. But
Right.
the people like us, where we take a lot of pride in what we're doing as as a DJ, no matter what the event is, whether there's 10 people there or there's 500 people there, we take a lot of pride in what we do, and that shows in our skills and the service that we give to people. And you know, there's those people who we take a genuine interest in how their event or their bar night or club night becomes. You can tell that those are the types of DJs that go on and be much more successful than the ones who just look at it as a number. They show up, they get paid, and they leave.
Right.
So that's the first important thing. And then the second important thing that I really want to kind of talk about is, you gave me accolades, and thank you so much for that. But there are so many people in the DJ industry where they would never help the next guy down the street because they either look at it as competition or ego, or there's a lot of different reasons. But we know as the DJs that the DJ industry is extremely toxic. There are a lot of bad people out there that just they're not good people in general. And then when you add the ego side of being a DJ into it, they just become 10 times worse. So I think it's important for DJs to get out there, meet other DJs who are like-minded, who want to help the industry grow, want to help other DJs grow, and just be good humans, be good people, and just pour that knowledge and all of their experience into either the next category of DJ or just someone who they've known for a while.
Yes, there are some real ugly people in the DJ game, and I mean inside and out. I mean, it really is. The culture in Rochester, as far as I'm concerned, I think that there's so many talented people in Rochester that you could be a superstar and you're going to get treated like a regular person.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter how good you are. Rochester is the best place to get treated like a regular person because Rochester is just like that. They're hard. Rochester gets you ready for anywhere in the world. If you can be successful in Rochester, there's no reason to stay there. There's more money other places. There's bigger venues. There's more people to meet to expand your network and your net worth. I knew it was taking a risk. I was so comfortable in Rochester that I didn't have to leave the house. I was getting gigs all the time, and I wasn't advertising. Anytime I wanted a gig, I was able to do it. Have to worry about bills being paid, anything. Everything was just so comfortable. But there was no sun. There's no sun. And I've been outside almost every day. Actually, every day since I left Rochester, I've been outside for the first time in my whole life. And it just changes your life, first of all. And second of all, I feel like these people down here are, more people come down here to vacation. So the atmosphere is a lot different than Rochester. Rochester, you're getting mostly locals there, so the vibe is different. Something could jump off really quick. Negatively, it could jump off real quick, depending on who's playing music or what kind of crowd you have, because I sincerely believe that the DJ, it can control that vibe. If you play some aggressive music, people will end up getting aggressive.
Absolutely. And we see it happen everywhere. And the DJ has to be the conductor. They have to basically master the crowd and get them what you want them to do. Right.
Yeah. I tend to be a little safe sometimes just because of what I've been through, where I've played, what I'm saying, and what I've seen. There's no way you're going to DJ at a bar and not see bad things happen. When people drink, bad things happen. And if you're drinking, which is another thing about being a DJ, DJs have to watch their mental health. They have to watch their physical health because they're playing late. They're being bombarded with who knows how many temptations to do things.
Yep.
And people, instead of giving you a tip and money, tend to bring you a drink, tip you in drinks. You know, I'd rather get tipped in money. I'm pretty sure most DJs would rather get tipped in cash, you know.
For sure.
So if anybody's watching, make sure you tip your DJ and tip him with some cash. Don't give him a drink. He might have a problem with drinks and he's trying to stop drinking. And now he's got a line of drinks there. And he has to decide, am I going to drink them?
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, you know, most of us we've seen some and heard some pretty wild stories when it comes to DJs who haven't been able to hold their liquor and just the temptation and things like that. So, yeah, it can get wild out there. So, but so you know, we've talked a little bit about how you started as a DJ and you know the different things that you've seen and done throughout your career. And you know, one of your biggest accomplishments is just making that huge decision and the huge move going from New York to Florida. And we know Florida, like you had mentioned, you get people from all over the country, all walks of life, you know, all different industries and demographics that come down there. And, you know, they're just looking to vacation and have some fun and, you know, maybe meet other people and everything. So, you know, what in your mind, you know, what would you say is probably one of the top 2 or 3 big differences between being a DJ in Florida versus a DJ in New York, other than just the crowd and the type of people?
I would say the music. You are, I don't know, sometimes it feels like in New York when you play certain music, people look at you like you're corny because you're fucking crowd favorites, you know. But down here, you can just let loose and be whoever you want to be, play whatever you want to play, whatever makes you happy that you've been holding back, you know, let it loose. People appreciate it. That's what they want to hear. They want to have fun. You know, I think the vibe of today's music is just counterproductive to having fun. You know, it's a slow vibe. It's a, you know, it's a different frequency, and I like having fun. I like bringing a party atmosphere. I want to take you away from your problems for however many hours I'm there as your DJ. I don't want you to think about anything but how good it feels to hear good music and have fun.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was a cruise ship DJ last year. He was on a cruise ship for 6 months, and he said the exact same thing that you just said. You know, he just plays good music. Doesn't matter what it is, what genre, you know, what style. You've got people there that are on the dance floor for one reason, and it's just to have fun. That's right. And I think that is very commendable. I think it's very important, you know, for DJs to be able to do that. Yes. There's some DJs that do it very, very well, and there's some DJs that try and just fail horribly at it. So, you know, kudos to you for being able to do that and bring people together and just let them have fun.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm glad they allow me to be there to do that. It's a pleasure to be able to do that. It's a blessing, and I take it very seriously. I when I look at other people's setups, I try to make sure that, you know, I'm looking at them and I'm seeing wires all over the place, and this is what the customer sees when they look at your setup. It doesn't matter if your skills are good. They're gonna say, do I want this ice, or, you know, with all these beautiful decorations that I'm gonna have? You know, I've literally gotten gigs just because of how clean my presentation has been.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because it shows that you're taking pride in how the event not just comes out, but how it appears too. Because, you know, every client has this vision of what they want their event to be, no matter what type of event it is. Right. And if you're not fitting into that vision properly, and you're kind of screwing all that up, then most likely you're not going to get the bookings that you want.
Right. Right. I really try to make myself as small as possible, have the smallest imprint possible, especially on the wedding. You know, try to make sure if I have both skirts, the black and the white skirt, to make sure that I'm not clashing with any decorations that might be going on at that time. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, making sure that you have most of your music maybe on most of the music for the event on your computer instead of your hard drive. You know, especially if you have a good working computer, can save you the trouble of worrying about your hard drive failing at the event, because that could happen.
Right.
You know, these things you got to think of, having extra wires and, you know, just thinking ahead and making sure that if anything goes wrong with any event, it's not going to be on you at all. You know, because I would hate to be the reason why somebody on their favorite day, like a wedding or a special event, that I'm the reason why their event has a black eye on it or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen people hire string quartets, have a DJ with a constant buzz going through his speaker the whole time. It was terrible. It was terrible. And it was just, you're ruining their, you know, even though it might be small to you, but to me, that is huge, you know?
Yeah. Have you, you know, now when you're interacting with like other DJs and stuff down there in Florida, what's, you know, how are DJs down there versus, I mean, we talked a little bit about how DJs can be up here in New York and how
Yeah.
harsh and toxic and things like that they are. But do you generally see some of the DJs down there in Florida a little bit more open-minded, a little bit more helpful, willing to collaborate more, things like that?
I think if they hear you from New York, then they're going to try to impress you somehow. To me, that was my initial impression. But all in all, they're about the same. They just are not so judgmental about you know, party music. It to me, up north, they don't want that. They want more of a hard hitting, you know,
More gritty stuff.
Yeah, that's what they want, you know. And anything that's going to promote a negative vibe for me, you know, to a crowd, you're amplifying this music. You know what I'm saying? This is a frequency. This is a vibration. There's a science to all of this. And there's a reason why they put this music out. And I understand that. And if you do research, you'll find out why they're putting this music out. So as a responsible DJ, I can't be amplifying this frequency. I won't do it. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm at the point where I'm ready to, you know, not do graduations, not do young people events right now, because they tend to be the ones that like that type of music. You know,
it's tough too, playing younger events, you know, just from everything from, you know, today's music can be kind of difficult to really kind of hone in on. And then, you know, kids nowadays, you know, they don't have the attention, so they're always on their phones or they're off doing other things and stuff. Whereas when it's an adult event, you capture their attention much more, and you can definitely do some more of the fun party, you know, throwback type tracks. So
yes, it's definitely it's not fun for me. And like you said, they're on their phones. That is fun to them. You know, I didn't realize that. You know, I'm like, man, I'm used to people being turned up at the party, and people come to me and they say, no, they had a great time. They're having a great time. Like, this is a great time on your phone. It's just new stuff that I'm just, you know, getting a little bit up there in age to be dealing with. So I'll let the young people do it. I would love to train a young person to take on those type of gigs if they want to do that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, let's talk about the future. You know, this will be a two-part question. You know, what do you see as far as DJ Chris Starks, Lovejoy Mobile Sound? You know, what's the future look like for you? And then, what does the future, in your opinion, look like for the DJ industry?
Well, the future for me, I feel like that I am going to make myself a niche in the 50 and up genre, dealing with those people, or even a little bit younger, but around that. I just turned 50 last year.
Wow, man. Congrats. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. So, so I'm looking to network with people more my age and do more events that are more and pay more money and deal with more people that are more established and, you know, have something to lose, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that 30 and up crowd, you know, the millennials, the Gen X,
Yeah.
even some of the baby boomers out there, man. You know, they've got the money, they've got the disposable income to spend on
Yes.
having the fun events. So
Yes. Yes. Private events. I mean, there's so many events down here. Um, and another thing about here, it feels like the ceiling is higher. You know, like your ability to make money is more if you are a self-made person, a person who looks to give checks rather than receive checks. You know,
yep.
This is not a place where you come if you want to go work for somebody. This is a place where you come to if you want to take control of your dreams and you want to network with people. I've met some of the most amazing people down here that I would have never met if I didn't get out of my comfort zone. I just met an Army Ranger, he has 7 deployments, and this guy is amazing. We're right now, we're linked up, and we're doing business together. So many opportunities that are even outside of music that I never thought that I would be able to get. And it's happening. At first, it's scary because nothing happens. You know, you just move here. You want things to happen as fast as you want to, but you have to know that you're gonna be okay. You got the skills to pay the bills, and you just got to meet one person, just one person, and your whole life could change.
Yeah, that's the, you know, the hustler mentality. You know, you go down there and you work your butt off until you find that one opportunity or that one person that takes a chance on you, or they see the same thing that you see, you know. And you know, you hear those stories time and time again. And it's difficult to do that whenever you're in an area, a region where it's either maybe small-minded, closed-minded people, or just not people who are in the same mindset. But then when you move away and you go to a bigger metropolitan area where there's a bigger population, you have access to people who are more open-minded, more willing to help out, more willing to collaborate, and sort of help you go down that path of success.
Right. It's easy to be a big fish in a small pond, but try being a leviathan in the ocean. All right, because this is the ocean over here, and you can be a whale and still not stick out down here. You have to be enormous, like a leviathan, to really be doing it. So it's very humbling. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of businesses doing their thing, but I feel like people from Rochester, there's something about us. We are so talented. A lot of us are very talented. Hence the competition there and the cliques and the division is because there's just way too much talent there. So shout out to Rochester. I love my hometown. I hope they find a way to unify because they're missing a lot of money. DJs are missing a lot of money not linking up and also not volunteering back to the community, which was something that was huge for me and my company, Lovejoy Mobile Sound. It was very important for me to volunteer at the schools. And people don't understand that if you want to get your network up, go volunteer. It's the move, like my man Samuel Gonzalez said, the move is more important than the money sometimes because you make the move and then the money comes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I 100% I agree with you. You know, and just, you know, giving back, it just shows who you are as a person, you know. People out there that are clout chasing and just trying to, you know, do different things and all it is about the money for them and being popular and people knowing who they are. You know, those people, I kind of feel bad for them because, you know, they're not doing anything that really empowers other people and really shows them at having like a real unique character or personality.
Right. Yep. I agree totally.
So where do you think, so the future of DJs, the industry, obviously we talked a little bit about digital streaming and all that, but, you know, where do you think DJs are going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? You think AI will take over? You think we'll still be talking about this 15 years down the road when we're old and gray and talking about the good old days, or what?
I hope that the basics of turntablism and DJing is still preserved, and AI has got to be a bad machine if it's gonna really take over the DJ job. But if it does, that's gonna really suck. I believe that, you know, we're gonna be. I just saw somebody DJing with just like holographic. They just pressing buttons, and who knows what we're gonna be floating in the air, DJ. Who knows, man?
Yeah, right.
You know, the future came so fast. I invested into Uber because I know that they're gonna be one of the first ones that are gonna be dealing with flying cars. They're gonna have that. They do have that on Robinhood. You can invest in VTOL jets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think information like that, it would be nice to have a network of DJs who actually care about their mental, spiritual, and physical health, that want to learn something every day, can even branch off to having little groups where people talk about crypto and investments and stuff. You know, where we could benefit from each other is more than music. You know, we can link up. You have so many gigs. You've sent me gigs, you know, so there's enough money for everybody, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, you know, the future, like you said, I would like to see that the old school ways doesn't get lost.
Right.
Because I feel that if you can master those old school ways, then anything else that comes, whether it's digital or new tech or whatever, you'll be able to master that as well. You can't ever forget about the basics, and sometimes going back to the basics can help you straighten out on the path. Like if you're starting to curve a little bit, going back to those basics of you know, analog and turntables and all that, you know, sometimes it can really make you a much better DJ going forward, because we know that today's DJ, when they have access to all these different digital pieces of equipment and tools and stuff like that, they might be able to do well on that, but put a pair of turntables in front of them, and most of the time they'll look clueless. But you take a pair of turntables, you put it into an old school DJ's hands, and they rock it. And then you put a controller in their hands, and they can rock it just as well. So, right. You know, for the future, I hope and I pray that the way that DJing has come up over the years doesn't get lost. I hope there are young DJs, young cats out there that do take an interest in learning the old school ways. But, you know, furthermore, going forward, is I would like to see more collaboration between the older guys and the newer guys, and get out of this toxic mindset that if you're this type of DJ or you play on this type of equipment, you're better than the next person, or, you know, whatever. So I don't know, it's a dream. I would like to see better collabs and nicer people and better human beings out there. And because I think that if everyone comes together and their overall goal is to just make people happy and dance and just enjoy music in general, then it doesn't matter who you are, what type of DJ you are. It makes the industry better, and it moves the industry in a more efficient and just a more better way, you know? Right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the next 5-10 years bring from the DJ community and the industry, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a dream. Maybe I'm just thinking outside of what could actually happen, but who knows?
Well, I was told in New York City, there are certain clubs that are not allowing any new DJs unless they have vinyl. They're only playing vinyl.
Yeah, so I've heard that too. Now, like, you know, when you go in, I mean, for the longest time, the industry standard was Tech 1200s and CDJs. Right. And there's a lot of bars and clubs that still have those in place in the DJ booth. And, you know, you get these guys, these DJs that come in with their controller and puts it on top of the turntable. And, you know, you see the old guys pretty much have a heart attack when that happens. But it's like, right. You know, there are a lot of bars, a lot of clubs out there that say, look, if you can't play on 12s or CDJs, right, get the hell out, you know. And you know, a lot of new DJs be like, you know, well, that's a bad way of thinking, and, you know, that's terrible, and it's not fair or whatever. I kind of understand that, but, you know, there's guys out there, there's club owners and managers that, you know, they don't want someone in there just pressing sync and streaming. They want someone who really knows what they're doing. They know how to mix, and they know how to use their ears and all that. So right. I get it, and I understand it. And, you know, kudos to some of those bars and clubs out there that are still doing that.
Yes. Yes.
But at the same time, you know, I think there does need to be a certain level of open-mindedness when it comes to DJing.
Listen, as long as they supply the records, I'll do it. I'm not carrying no crates. I'm telling you, I had my days of doing that. I didn't have anybody to carry my crates. I had to carry my own crates. Some of these guys had the luxury of having people carry their crates. You know, people who were learning from them carry their crates. You know.
Yeah, I still have all my vinyl. I'll never get rid of it.
Really?
You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, it'll you know, my wife will probably sell all my vinyl when I'm dead, you know, 6 feet in the ground, but it's like, I just, you know, I can't get rid of it. It's just part of me, and it's taken so many years to build up my collection, and just, I'll always have it. Yeah,
man. I know so many people that feel the same way, dude. They feel the same way. You know, me, I'm not one of them. I'm not carrying them. They were too much, man. They were too much. But no, I do understand. I do understand the love. A lot of people don't understand how it was to try to find the plug that had the music, the different music. Like there was a place I used to go in Henrietta. You used to go to the back door, and you have to have a card, and he would have all the latest stuff, all the singles. You know, I remember going to him. I said, "Listen, I want whatever's hot." It's 1993. I said, "I want the hottest thing out right now," and they give me Wu-Tang. On one side was Protect Your Neck, and the other side was Method Man. I said, give me two of them. So I get to them. As soon as I bring them home, I play the song. I was like, what the hell is this? You know, because it's such a gritty, grimy, different sound. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I didn't like it at first, but I kept playing it. I was like, man, this is pretty fire. And they ended up being one of my favorite groups. So, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just something special about, you know, not even opening your laptop and just going to, you know, analog mode and, you know, playing actual vinyl, not DVS vinyl, but actual vinyl. And it's got that warmer sound, that nicer sound. And there's just something about it. And, you know, and trying to talk to DJs, like young DJs nowadays, about that. A lot of times they just don't get it, you know, and yeah. Yeah,
the digital sound it's a digital sound what they have today. Even scratches are not going to sound the same when they're on vinyl.
Right.
You know, all of these things that I have, they try to replicate how vinyl sounds. They all come up short noticeably from somebody who has grown up playing on vinyl.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you for taking some time. For everyone who is watching, you guys can follow Chris. He's all over Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can find him, DJ Chris Starks. You can find his company, Lovejoy Mobile Sound. Any Florida DJs that are watching this, any Florida clients that are looking at this, you're looking to hire a DJ in Florida, definitely talk to Chris. He knows his stuff. He knows how to rock a party. Doesn't matter what type of people are there, what demographic, what age group, whatever. He will set the dance floor on fire. People will have a good time. So make sure you guys reach out to him and talk to him. And, you know, he is a great asset when it comes to the DJ industry. And then Florida DJs, if you guys are watching this and you want to learn a little bit about New York DJing and where DJs have started in New York, you know, how hip hop started in New York, and just want to learn about what it's like to be a New York DJ, then definitely hit him up, talk to him, collaborate with him, create events with him, and you guys definitely won't regret it. You guys will definitely love working with him. So on that note, we've got some additional DJs coming up. I'll also be talking to some wedding photographers, videographers, venues, getting their insight into event industry and the crazy stuff that goes on at weddings and all those different types of events. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Chris. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.